Hello everyone and welcome back to building the Amtrak Pacific Surfliner. This episode is a tiny bit shorter. In this episode we go from Santa Ana Station, which is right here, all the way to CP Maple. It's not a super long distance, but it's Thursday. I'm tired. I've had a couple busy days of work this week. Last night was really busy, so today I was kind of tired, but I still wanted to get some done, so I decided just go to CP Maple. It's a far enough distance, and it's a big enough quote-unquote landmark on the subdivision that I could just stop there for today. Right here, you see me setting up CP Lincoln. Now, in real life at this spot, right around where the tracks are right here, they go over the 5 freeway, which is why you see me separating Main 2 from Main 1. It's only separated from it for like a couple hundred feet. But I just wanted to add that little detail in because once this is all said and done, it's going to have the bridge there, the freeway and everything. And if you guys noticed in the last episode, I accidentally named this control point where the UP local goes. I accidentally named that CP Lincoln. I've already renamed that to CP 4th Street because that's what it really is. I messed up on that episode and I apologize for that. And now I start working on some railroad crossings. There's a good handful of railroad crossings in this stretch of track. Sadly, all of which are quiet zoned, but this is Trainz. If you're going through here, do whatever you want. I personally love this spot when I'm going through it on like a Metrolink, going up to Fullerton. It's just two tracks down the middle of like a town. Although it is Santa Ana, which again is pretty shady, but it still would be like kind of cool to have like 2 train tracks just rip right through the middle of your town. Although it's not horn zone, but it'd still be fun. Then right here the tracks take a little left and then a right. On that little straight section of track there's another bridge which will be added eventually. There's gonna be like a whole episode where I'm just making bridges and stuff. And railroad crossings, I'm gonna add the cross butts and everything. I'm gonna have to make 2 versions of that, a DLS version and then a custom version. Because my custom version is gonna have payware railroad crossings that I cannot upload to the DLS. But I'm still gonna use those for like when I make like Trainz rail fanning and stuff like that. Now I'm setting up a pretty decent stretch of track that's generally straight. This is all orange. This is the city of Orange. And if you've been to Orange on the train station, there's a Ruby's there. I think I've gone there like once in my lifetime. I was like 5 or 6. I've rarely gotten off at the Orange station, but I've passed it more times than I can count. It's a pretty nice station. It's got like some like older vibes. There's this big old building that says Old Town Orange right by the train station. And then literally like surrounding the train station is a bunch of railroad crossings. And then not even 50 feet north of the station you get CP Maple, or at least the start of it. And for those of you who've seen my old Trainz time lapses, all the control points that are named CP Maple was in fact completely inspired off of this control point right here. I love this control point. I don't know why. It's just a kind of cool. It's a pretty cool control point. The olive sub splits off from the orange sub right here. The orange sub takes a hard left, and that leads to Fullerton, and the Olive sub goes straight, and that leads to CP Atwood on the BNSF San Bernardino subdivision. It's pretty cool. Right here, I'm building the orange station, or I'm getting the like placeholder platform for the orange station. And now we start up CP Maple. CP Maple is basically the rest of this video. It's a pretty big control point, probably the biggest one on the subdivision, on the orange subdivision at least. There's even a railroad crossing in between some of the things, which is pretty cool. I've always wanted to just stop and rail fan this spot, because it's just kind of, it's just appealing to me. I don't really know why. One thing that's kind of unique about, or not unique, but one thing I find cool about CP Maple is while there's two subdivisions diverging from each other, there's also a siding that decides to exist here. I don't know if they actually use the siding. Well, I do know if they use it. They do, it's just very rarely. When I was talking about that Michelin caboose in the other episode, that they just left it on the siding, this is the one I was talking about. I mean, it's not finished yet. So, but the track on the far left, that's going to be the siding, and that's where they left it, pretty much for like a whole day. I don't know why they did that, but they did. Right here, this was probably the hardest part. I was trying to get this as close as I can to real life, and it took a lot of me moving the track back and forth. I still didn't get it 100% accurate. I might make some edits to this and make it just a little more accurate, but for now, I have it pretty fine. Like, I can deal with it for now. And now I get to work on the siding. It's a decent siding. It was like 1,700 feet or something like that. I think. I don't remember. And then here's the railroad crossing, or another railroad crossing on the control point. This is why I wanted to rail fan this spot, because there's this railroad crossing that's like on the junction where the tracks split off, and it's just pretty cool. Like, I can't think of many spots where two subdivisions diverge off of each other, and there's a railroad crossing right on it. Actually, now that I think about it, both ends of the Olive sub are like this. At CP Atwood, there's a freaking railroad crossing where where the Olive sub meets the San Bernardino sub. So, I think the Olive sub is the only subdivision I can name where at both ends, where it diverges into a new subdivision, it's on a railroad crossing. Right here, I'm just naming all the junctions to match the control point. And then right at the end of this siding is CP Catella. It's just where the siding ends. Nothing special. I don't know why I did this long pause at the station, or at the control point. I finish up this last railroad crossing, and then the video's over. Alright, thanks for watching, guys.